Give me my Maybach, bro.
Fans packed on stadium in Texas last Friday, ready for what looked like a big night. The main event was supposed to be unforgettable boxing legend versus the YouTuber who went pro, but it was a huge letdown.
What did you think of the fight?
It wasn't a good one.
It wasn't a good one. No.
Fans were loudly upset that there weren't many punches being thrown, and by the time it was over, there were more things going on than just that. People were punching each other in the stadium, others were leaving, and Tank and Keyshawn were almost in a fight.
I would prefer Tank Davis, the top guy. I would go for the top guy. If I could choose, I would choose Tank Davis. I would not Tank short it out.
Many people on social media complained about the fight, and boxing professionals and fans alike said it was a shame. But Tank was the loudest, but Tank didn't hold back. In a scathing Instagram post, he called Jake Paul the dumb clown who shared the ring with Mike Tank. Tank wrote, "This is stupid of you, and you couldn't even do the job, head."
Gervonta Davis just posted that he would beat the brakes off of you if you guys fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down.
The night wasn't just about Tank's fight with Jake, though. It was also when Tank and rising star almost got physical. During the event, the young fighter Keyshawn Davis made fun of Tank by calling him a fake and daring him to fight.
Davis Keyshawn, this new guy, he's 140 pounds. He's not bad.
Yeah.
Keyshawn Davis. That's him right there, isn't it?
Ooh, no, I thought he was.
Ooh, there you go right here.
Tank, already steaming from the lackluster main event, nearly snapped. Security had to step in before it turned into a full-blown fight. The young boxer Keyshawn Davis is one of the hottest trends right now. We can't deny it that just a few weeks ago, he lit up his hometown crowd with a shocking second-round knockout over Gustavo Lemos.
Hey Shakur, like I was telling Bud, it's either you or Keyshawn's gonna get tanked, so the walls are closing in, so awesome.
It's gonna be him though.
It makes sense, he's closer.
Big brother first.
The win sent Keyshawn's stock rising, saying he's ready for the big names like Teofimo Lopez Haney. And of course, top of the list is Tank. Keyshawn is young, skilled, and exciting to watch, and he knows it now. In boxing, it's normal for rising stars to call out big names. It's part of the game. You don't get noticed by staying quiet. But the way Keyshawn has been calling Tank, it wasn't just confidence. It felt like he was poking the bear. Here's the thing about Tank that even Keyshawn should know. He's not just another fighter. Tank has been a famous knockout artist, but he's also a thought in the ring. He's like a chess master, always a few steps ahead of his opponent. He spends the early rounds studying his rivals, figuring out their patterns, and waiting for the right moment to strike. When Tank lands, it lights out.
No, I feel like Tank is the type of fighter where he'll either be offensive first, but he's very patient, and then just try to catch you slipping. You know what I'm saying? And
his punches aren't just strong, they're devastating, and he can deliver them from positions that opponents don't see coming. Once Tank has you hurt, it's almost impossible to live. We've seen it time and time again. Fighters like Ryan Garcia, Leo Santa Cruz, and Jose Pedraza all had their moments against Tank, but once he turned it up, it was game over.
Who sleep on Tank's skills? Nah, nobody sleep on Tank. Like,
Well, I just go because so many people just think he's a knockout artist, but I think they underestimate his boxing IQ.
And back in 2021, in August, I sparred Tank, and he's skilled. Like, he's skillfully. Like, he's like, you can watch me fight. You know, I'm skilled. When I got in the ring with him,
Keyshawn Davis is GOAT. No one doubts that, but is he ready for Tank? That's the question. Apparently, Keyshawn is already pulling 10,000 people this early in his career, and from what his fans have seen, they know for sure that Keyshawn can take down Tank, and his last fight even further fueled that.
He's going to be a great fighter.
He's calling for Tank. Now,
he beats Tank.
Yeah, you think so?
Keyshawn Davis beats Tank, in my opinion. I believe he's given him a good
Although Gustavo Lemos was a dangerous opponent, his pressure was predictable. Tank's push is smarter and far more dangerous. When we think of this fight, we can almost see how it goes. Keyshawn steps into the ring with a Tank. The first few games are close.
Title definitely gonna be next. 2025, we got big plans for everybody in the boxing world. Hey, Gervonta, knock.
You've been on that all week. Listen.
Keyshawn makes some good shots and feels confident, but by round 7, everything changes. Tank, having studied, Keyshawn starts to take over. His punches become sharper. His attacks more relentless. Keyshawn, who's never faced strength like Tank's, starts to hesitate. Every chance he sees feels like a trap. The pressure builds, the crowd gets louder, and suddenly Keyshawn knows he's in over his head.
When I started, like when I was attacking and trying to set stuff up, like he got like good upper body movement and he got some good legs when he used them. So he surprised me with his defense. But it was a very technical fight. Technical sparring match. And I definitely learned that, like I said, his defense, like I definitely learned that he got some great defense, and it's not really easy to hit this guy. And I had to work to get to him. But overall, it was great sparring, and we respected each other.
And to be honest, this is not just hypothetical. It's what many of Tank's opponents have experienced. They go in confident. They even hit a fair share of punches, but once Tank gets going, it's a whole different fight. This is what everyone who knows Tank is communicating to Keyshawn. Kenny Ellis, Tank's teacher, has even called Keyshawn greedy. And not just him. Even Eddie Hearn told Keyshawn to respect the levels in boxing.
You are good. You are real good. But there's levels to this game, Keyshawn.
Okay, we gonna talk about levels. Okay, just know it's level.
But Keyshawn isn't backing down, whether it's youthful confidence or just a way to grab attention. He's determined to keep his name in the mix. And while that boldness is great, it might also be his downfall. Boxing is as much about planning as it is about skill. Confidence is important, but so is respect for the sport, for the craft, and for those who've already climbed the Mount Knock. Davis has proven himself time and time again. Underestimating him is a mistake many champions have paid for. Keyshawn has the ability and the charisma to become a superstar, but he needs to be smart. Rushing into a fight with Tank could either make him a legend or end his rise before it truly begins. Tank, on the other hand, isn't one to shy away from a challenge. If Keyshawn keeps pushing, the fight could happen. When it does, all the talk will mean nothing in the ring. There's no hiding, but for now it's clear that Keyshawn might be playing with fire he can't handle, and fire burns whether he rises from it or gets consumed. Only time will tell. However, as much as people are going off against Keyshawn for calling Tank, some of his accusations have been a bit true according to the fans.
For that other southpaw on the other side of the street, this is an example for you, but I probably can do you a little earlier than that. You and Earl keep saying this, that, and third. I want to fight, but y'all calling out other fighters. Why is that? I want to fight you. I want to fight you. You feel me? If you want to fight, let me know, because I want to fight.
As Tank marked his 30th birthday just recently, social media was full of another talk, not with congratulations, but with frustration. Fans and critics are questioning his job choices, calling his legacy underwhelming despite his undeniable talent. One response summed up the idea, saying, "All the talent, world champion at 22 and by 30 still hasn't fought elite guy. What a waste." Others join in accusing him of cherry-picking opponents and dodging real challenges. The term rehydration clauses came up repeatedly, a point for many fans who think it undermines the legitimacy of his wins. Take Ryan Garcia, for instance, probably Tank's biggest win to date on paper. It's an amazing scalp, but there's a catch. The rehydration clause, Garcia had to agree to specific weight restrictions that likely left him less than his best. While Garcia didn't fully blame his loss on the clause, his admission that he felt weak in the ring fed into the story.
Davis has been avoiding, in my opinion, the big fights. Lomachenko, Pitbull Cruz, Shakar Stevenson, Devin Haney was there. Teofimo was there at one point. He finally fought Ryan, but Ryan, he was drained, and we saw how Ryan looked at 140.
His lightweight title came not through beating a reigning champion, but through an upgrade when Devin Haney resigned the belt. It's a difference that doesn't sit well with fans, and this is where most fans think Keyshawn Davis might be another fair challenge. He's young, hungry, and not afraid to call it like he sees it, and when it comes to Tanks, he's not pleased. "I want to fight him, bro, because he's been tricking the fighting game for too long," Keyshawn said. He makes _ looks good. He makes _ look better than what it is. What kind of resume did he get? He didn't have a resume, man.
Fight him straight like that. I want to fight him, bro, because he been tricking the boxing game for too long. Resume what kind of...
This isn't the first time Tank has faced these allegations. For years, fans have wanted to see him in the ring with top-tier opponents like Vasyl Lomachenko, Devin Haney, or Teofimo Lopez. Those fights never materialized. And while boxing politics often play a role, Tank's critics argue that he hasn't pushed hard enough to make them happen. Instead, they point to a pattern: fighting aging veterans, smaller opponents moving up in weight, or fighters who are hampered by contract stipulations. It's a strategy that has kept Tank undefeated but has also left many questioning his desire to truly test himself. Keyshawn Davis, on the other hand, is eager to take on tasks.
Him? Come on now, if I touch him, what's gonna happen? Talk about that. Everybody wanna talk about, oh, Keyshawn, what if he touch you? What if I touch him? Yeah, okay.
His demolition of Gustavo Lemos was a statement win. And while his record is still thin and understandable given that he's only 12 fights into his pro career, he's already targeting the biggest names in the division. Keyshawn's boldness is both his strength and his bet.
Behind this crowd, man, that dude is a star, bro. Seriously, man. All that weight on his back, bro, he put it down. He was even dealing with his brothers, man. His brothers, his sisters singing in that.
Critics of Tank say that his approach has left his legacy vulnerable to criticism at 30. He's a two-weight world champion ranked no. 8-pound 4-pound by the ring, but those titles mean little to fans who see a resume full of question marks. Keyshawn's career, though still in its early stages, is already being shaped by his desire to take on tough opponents. His win over Lemos was a leap forward proving that he's ready for the next level. Whether he's ready for Tank, though, is another question entirely. As of now, Tank is set to defend his WBC lightweight title against Lamont Roach in March next year, a fight that was again criticized and is even expected to sell less from the same accusations that if he wins a fight with Keyshawn in 2025 could be on the table. It would be a chance for Tank to silence his critics and prove that he's more than just a protected fighter for Keyshawn. It would be a chance to take down one of the sport's biggest names and cement his place as a future star, but until that fight happens, the questions will remain. Has Tank avoided the toughest challenges in his career, or has he simply been the victim of boxing politics? Keyshawn Davis isn't waiting for answers. He's made it clear that he's coming for Tank, and whether he's right or wrong in his criticisms, one thing is certain: this is a fight that would settle the issue once and for all. Then again, before we see Keyshawn's fight Tank, there is another fight that is hanging around: the rematch with Ryan Garcia. However, this time with a condition that makes it fair. Ryan Garcia's unexpected win over Devin Haney flipped the script in boxing's junior welterweight division, but it also shifted the narrative on a possible rematch with Tank after handing Haney his first loss in a closely fought-out. Garcia made it clear a second dance with Tank isn't on his radar. When asked about facing Tank again, his answer was firm: "I can't do it." The reasoning was clear, but loaded with meanings. According to Garcia, his body can no longer handle the junior welterweight limit, let alone cutting back to the lightweight division where he faced Tank last year. "I'm not doing 140 pounds, I'm doing 147 pounds, Garcia explained. "I fought every time at 143. My body physically cannot go lower than 143. It's impossible. I tried every method, but I can do it." Garcia's problems with weight are nothing new. Even during his first fight with Tank, the contracted weight and the infamous 10 pounds rehydration clause were hot topics.
He's crazy. He's crazy. Talk about rematch. He said I was the best at 135 to 42. He said that. Say he won't fight me again. I'll kick his ass again. The term which limited Garcia's ability to rehydrate fully after the weighing left him feeling less than 100% going into the ring. He has since admitted to feeling weak during the fight but refused to use it as an excuse, insisting that he agreed to the terms and had to live with the consequences. Now that Garcia has flipped the script with his win over Haney, he's probably in a stronger negotiating position. His manager Oscar De La Hoya wasted no time driving that point home. The only way he's going to fight Tank Davis is at a catchweight, okay, at 145 pounds, just the way they did it to him. De La Hoya said now he's the man. Now he's the face of boxing. Whether or not Garcia is truly the face of boxing is up for question, but his confidence is undeniable. "I am the face of boxing boldly. I know I am," Garcia said, doubling down on his claim.
The nigga at the press conference, I asked, I was like, "Yo, would you be interested in Tank again?" And he was like, "Yo, Oscar was like, he got to come to 145 so we could do a part 2. 145. Would you? Is that something you?
He's not even at 145.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said a catchweight. He said we have to do a catchweight at 145.
But why would it be 140? Why can't it be 140?
Yeah.
Why can't it be 140?
That's what he said. Would you be interested in that? Or like, nah, we ain't going.
I'll fight him at 1.
The first fight between Tank and Garcia was one of the biggest events in boxing in 2023. Pulling in 1 million pay-per-view buys. It was built as a clash of styles and personalities, with Garcia's speed and length facing off against Tank's power and patience. Eventually, Tank delivered the goods. knocking Garcia out with a devastating liver shot in the 7th round. But the fight wasn't without its share of controversy. Beyond the rehydration clause, there was the admission that Tank had insider knowledge about Garcia's physical state going into the fight. Rumors swirled that Garcia was nursing a rib injury, and Tank exploited that weakness with surgical accuracy.
Talked about it, and even in the All Access, you know, hey man, yeah, he hit me on my rib. Did you guys know going into that he had a rib injury?
I mean, you know, you hear things, you know, and mind games and everything. But again, we had a hand injury from the fight before. But again, you're a fighter. You don't worry about that, you know?
Completely legal, it left a bad taste in the mouths of some fans and added an asterisk to the win for Garcia. The loss was humbling but not career-ending. He bounced back, regrouped, and now finds himself on a new road that doesn't include revisiting his lone professional loss. Garcia's choice to move up to welterweight isn't just about avenging the physical toll of their first fight. It's a strategic move to build a new chapter in his career, one where he can avoid the compromises that limited him at lightweight and junior welterweight. From Garcia's viewpoint, Tank isn't the only big name in boxing. There are plenty of intriguing matchups waiting at 147 PBS, including fights with stars like Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence Jr., or even a showdown with rising contenders in the division. These fights not only offer fresh challenges, but also allow Garcia to fully accept his natural size and strength without the grueling weight. Cuts.
Davis called you out over social media, mate. Your response to that?
One more time, please.
Tank Davis.
Tank Davis called
out Loma on social media.
Oh, he called Loma on social media. Well,
that's easy to do, right?
But there's also an emotional factor at play. Garcia referred to the idea of a Tank rematch as reliving a nightmare for all his bluster. There's an undercurrent of reluctance, a sense that going back into the ring with Tank might be more trouble than it's worth on the other side of the equation. Davis likely has his own thoughts about Garcia's reluctance. Tank is ready for a showdown with Lamont Roach, and a win there could set the stage for more big fights in 2025. Still, Tank might view Garcia's words as a sign of weakness or even as an attempt to dodge a rematch that would settle the score once and for all. After all, Garcia has unfinished business at 140 pounds, where Tank still reigns as one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport.
I had his ass in the second, but you know, I was too weak. I knew I was going to lose in the back room. I had no power. I had no mind. I was dehydrated. It was really bad. I should actually die cutting that weight. I should have. But God protected me because I was blistering out of my mouth. I had no spit. It was like...
Boxing fans, the possibility of a Tank Garcia rematch is more interesting than a fight with someone like Keyshawn, even if the circumstances have changed. The first fight was a blockbuster event, and a sequel would surely draw massive attention, but Garcia's decision to move up in weight complicates things. Catchweight fights are always tricky to negotiate, and Tank has generally operated on his own terms when it comes to contracts. Moreover, Garcia's rise in popularity after defeating Haney might create new chances that overshadow the need for a rematch with Tank. If Garcia can carve out a good career at 147 pounds, he might never need to revisit the lightweight division or junior welterweight.
I've heard you say that you don't like to bring your family to fights that you feel like are going to be a war. Do you feel like this is a fight that you'll bring your family to?
Nah. I don't think so.
As of now, a Tank Garcia rematch feels like a distant chance if it happens at all. Both fighters are on different trajectories, with Garcia moving up to welterweight and Tank continuing to rule the lower weight classes for Garcia. The focus is on capitalizing on his newfound momentum and showing that he's more than just a social media star for Tank. The goal stays the same: to keep winning and silence the critics who question his resume. Either way, there is a big chance that Tank gets in the ring with Keyshawn in the near future. But what do you think would happen? Share your thoughts below and don't forget to like and subscribe to the station for more updates. See you in the next one.